Hello, welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into a dramatic explainer of the 16th episode, aptly titled Rebirth, from the phenomenal story Shadow Slave. So let's just jump right in and see exactly what's happening to Sunny right after surviving that absolutely grueling first nightmare.
Okay, so picture this. Sunny suddenly feels something waking up deep inside of him. And it's not some external force, it's more like something that was always there, just sleeping. Imagine a miniature star literally igniting right in the center of his chest. It immediately radiates out, pushing these intense waves of heat straight into his stomach and shoulders. Then it spreads like wildfire, racing down his arms and legs all the way to his hands and feet. And under this insane, burning heat, his bones, his muscles, his organs and blood vessels they're literally being rebuilt and revitalized from the inside out.
To put it simply, Sunny felt like he was being reborn. It's an absolutely euphoric moment for our guy. You have to remember, he used to be this incredibly frail, super vulnerable street kid. He was constantly getting pushed around, always at the mercy of everyone else. But now, with his body physically transforming and his sheer willpower tempered by the absolute horrors he just survived, a totally new, razor-sharp confidence is settling into his heart. He's becoming faster, much healthier, and seriously stronger. Basically, he is no longer someone you'd ever want to cross.
But then, something shifts. That intense, burning star finally starts to cool down. The raging heat is replaced by this incredibly soothing, deep coldness. It washes right over his newly forged muscles, completely melting away years of built-up aches and pains. It's like his whole body has been dipped into a giant vat of healing balm. This wave of pure relaxation travels all the way up his spine, right into his brain, and then up to his eyes. And right at that exact moment, something really strange happens. His vision actually doubles. Suddenly, Sunny is looking straight into his own sea of soul. But man, it completely defies all expectations. In your standard lit RPG-style progression, right, a dreamer expects their soul core to be this burning bright star, filling up a lively soul sea with warm, blinding light. But the reality for Sunny? It's downright eerie. He's just staring out at a silent, perfectly calm, utterly dark sea. And the only thing illuminating it is a lonely black sun. In fact, if you look closely, that black sun is actually transparent. It's really just reflecting the pitch-black void all around it.
Now, no one else is supposed to be in his soul sea. I mean, it's his own mind, right? But Sunny gets this intense, nagging paranoia that, as the story puts it, hidden in the darkness, shapeless forms were constantly moving. Just beyond his peripheral vision, out there in the pitch black, things are shifting around. No matter how fast he whips his head to look, he just can't catch a clear glimpse of them. He really tries to shake it off, hoping he's just imagining these intruders, but that creeping dread, it is incredibly palpable.
Forcing himself to ignore those creepy shadows, he focuses his attention back onto his black sun. He quickly spots two distinct spheres of light just caught in the sun's gravity, silently orbiting it, and a subtle smile hits his face because he innately recognizes what they are. These are his hard-earned memories from the nightmare, specifically the silver bell and the Puppeteer Shroud. He's already hoping to eventually fill this dark sky with dozens of them. And speaking of filling the sky, Sunny is absolutely hoping to eventually snag an echo or two. For those of you tracking the lore, echoes are essentially magical creatures forged directly from the soul essence of slain nightmare monsters. So, instead of just being inanimate tools like the memories, these are fully summonable companions that can actually aid dreamers in their brutal trials. Having even one of these would be a massive game changer for his survival.
But before he can daydream too much about building out his future arsenal, awakening aspect ability. The sudden, robotic, totally emotionless voice of the nightmare spell violently yanks Sunny right out of his soul sea.
Which brings us to a crucial section of our explainer, the moment of truth, determining his fate. Sunny takes a deep breath. I mean, literally everything. His entire immediate future in the dream realm hinges entirely on this first aspect ability. Is it going to be a combat ability, throwing him right onto the bloody front lines? Or maybe it'll be tied to sorcery, making him a fragile but devastating ranged fighter. Could it be some highly valued utility role? Or, no way, maybe even the incredibly rare and sought-after healer?
The spell's voice rings out again. Aspect ability acquired. Aspect ability name. Shadow Control. Sunny just squints in the dark. Okay, what on earth does Shadow Control even mean? Is that a frontline combat skill? Is it a cunning sorcerer's spell? He has literally never even heard of this aspect before, and he is absolutely dying to figure out what his actual role is going to be in this terrifying nightmare realm.
He can't wait. He hurriedly summons his system runes to get the full lit RPG-style breakdown. His eyes just fly over the glowing text, confirming the basics that he mostly already knows. Name, Sunless. True name, Lost from Light. Rank, Dreamer. Okay, standard stuff. But as he scans further down the table, things take a very weird, completely unprecedented turn.
He actually tilts his head, totally shocked, because right where his standard soul core and consumed soul shards should be listed, he sees this, a dormant shadow core. And right below that, a counter for shadow fragments, sitting right at 12 out of 1,000. He blinks. Nobody else has a different kind of core. I mean, this completely explains why his soul sea looks like a dark void with a black sun, but it raises a huge question. Does our guy have an entirely unique progression path compared to every single other awakened out there?
This new reality is a massive double-edged sword. On one hand, think about the incredible advantage here. Most of human society in the Dream Realm revolves around fighting tooth and nail just to get soul shards. Since Sunny doesn't actually need them, he won't be competing with anyone. His growth speed could theoretically be astronomical, and he'll be completely self-sufficient. But on the flip side, we have the frightening unknown. How in the world do you farm shadow fragments? And honestly, more pressingly, what exactly did he do during the nightmare to accidentally acquire those first 12?
Resolving to explore that particular mystery very carefully later, he continues reading down his profile. He checks out his attributes: Faded, Mark of Divinity, and Child of Shadows. Wow. And then he sees it. Aspect, Shadow Slave. Aspect rank, Divine. Let that sink in for a second. Divine. He is literally holding his breath in pure anticipation right now, remembering those incredibly violent, massively strong shadow tendrils that ripped the Mountain King limb from limb back in the temple. He's just praying his new shadow control ability grants him exactly that kind of devastating power.
So, he eagerly reads the actual description for shadow control, and it says this: "Your shadow is more independent than most. It is an invaluable helper." Wait, what? Sunny cocks his head to the side, just totally disappointed. Where are the giant monster-shredding shadow tendrils? What does an independent shadow even mean when you are literally facing down a horde of nightmare creatures?
But before he can even really mull over that frustrating question, the icy, robotic voice of the nightmare spell violently interrupts his thoughts once again. All power has a price. You have received a flaw. Sunny scoffs. Really? Being a shadow slave isn't enough of a drawback already? But the spell obviously doesn't care. A brand new set of glowing runes begins to materialize right there on his profile. Sunny quickly reads these new runes detailing his flaw, and guys, all that newfound confidence, all that euphoria from his physical rebirth, it just vanishes in a split second. His eyes go incredibly wide in sheer, unadulterated horror as he mutters, "Oh no, 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 no." Which leaves us hanging on a massive precipice. What terrifying flaw did Sunny just receive? What horrific price is the nightmare spell forcing him to pay for that divine rank? You'll have to wait to find out. If you like the story, please like and share it, and subscribe to the channel to watch future episodes. Thanks for watching.